WVIE and WGPR HD2. And I just wanted to take this time to let you know that we're live, and I have a very, 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 very special guest with me today, and we're going to be here for about an hour. And her name is Diane Mathis. Now, Diane Mathis is a singer. She's an actress. She's a songwriter. And she's my friend. Diane, how are you today?
Hi, Henry. I am doing great. I am so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you in the studio. And you know, we always have to start off by basically finding out the story of Diane Mathis. Just give me a synopsis of Diane Mathis.
Okay.
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yes.
Well, when I was a little girl, my father bought a television set, a Muntz television set with the little bitty screen and the great big body. And the Mickey Mouse Club came on television.
Uh-oh.
And when I saw those, KEYMOUSE, when all those little kids came on television, I was just enthralled with what I was seeing. And so because my father said that he bought the TV for me, I believed him. He also bought me the little Mickey Mouse ears. And so I think it was from, what's the name of that store? Roberts? Oh, God, I can't even think of it at the moment.
Woolworths?
No, not Woolworths. It was a store that, Robert Hall's.
Okay.
They had them at Robert Hall's. And so every day at 4 o'clock, I would get my little hairbrush or a toothpick, or, a straw or whatever I could, act like I had a microphone. And I would climb up on the top of the TV, because my mother had this thing called a shadow box. It was a big mirror that had all these little shelves, and she had all the little things from the Dollar Tree, like the Dollar Tree, the birds and the little squirrels and all that kind of stuff. And so I could just barely see myself in the bottom of that mirror. And so I was on TV. I was dancing and singing just like the little Mouseketeers, but I got spanked every single day because my mother said, "You're going to break your neck. Get off that TV." But as soon as she would leave the room, I was on top of that TV performing. And I knew I could sing because my family all had gift to sing. My dad played a ukulele, had a beautiful tenor voice. My mother had the most beautiful soprano. My brother sounded like Johnny Mathis, and my other sister, she kind of sang, but she really wasn't interested. But my oldest sister, Bonnie, she could sing. Oh my God, she could sing. And that's where we got the talent from my father and my mother. We had different fathers, but my dad lived in the house, so he was singing all the time. He had this crazy song, I don't know where he got it from, it's called Miss Froggy Went A-Courtin'. And he would always sing that song to me. And that mesmerized me. I learned how to sing Sentimental Journey and Harmony when I was 3 or 4 years old.
Wow. Wow.
And that's for real.
Where did you go to school at?
The initial school, this was before my mom passed away. I went to Crosby Elementary School right on the Service Drive of the John Lodge Expressway, because we lived on Gladstone, 1648. I remember that address, 1648 Gladstone, because that's where my mom passed away at. So certain things you just never forget.
Right.
But that's where we lived, and we used to go to the Gold Coast Theater. And off of 12th Street. And so that's where I grew up with singing in my house. And then when my mom passed away, my father kind of didn't know what to do with me, so he kind of put me here, there, and everywhere, because he didn't know what to do with a 7-year-old girl. He had never had any children before. And so my sister had a record player, with the record player on this side and the speakers on this side.
Okay.
Every day when she got home from work, she worked at A&P, she was playing Nancy Wilson, and she was whoever. She had all these albums. And every day I'd lay on the floor and watch that little red light, and when the songs would come on, I started hearing the melodies. I started singing along, and my sister said, "You know what? You're going to be a singer."
Right.
And I said, "I want to. I really do." And she said, "Well, then you do that."
Okay.
So that's how I got started. But really, my stepmother was my dance teacher.
Oh.
She came along at my request. I asked her to marry my father. He asked me what I want for Christmas, and I said, "Marry Miss Davis." And he said, "Are you crazy? I got a girlfriend." But I said, "Daddy, I don't like your girlfriend. I want you to marry
No,
Miss
you
Davis."
didn't. No,
I
you
did.
didn't.
Oh, yes, I
Oh,
did.
that's Diane.
I said,
That's
"Daddy, I don't
Diane.
want you to marry
She
her. I
speak
want
her
you to
mind."
marry Miss Davis." And Miss Davis was the one that really discovered that I could sing. And that's how I got started, because she was dragging me everywhere, put me in all kind of shows at the 20 Grand and all the things that she was doing around the city, because she was a fashion designer.
Okay.
And she taught dance, and so that's how I really got into performing.
Now, your first group that you became a member of.
That
Was
was
that-
Debonaires at
Okay.
Golden World Records with Mr. Ed Wingate.
Ooh, Golden World.
Yes.
That
On
was
Davison.
that was on the
On
the
Davis-
boulevard.
It was on Davison, right there at Wildermere.
Okay, all right.
Yes, it was. And
The
we had
Debonaires.
we had so many groups. We had J.J. Burns, Pat Lewis,
Edwin Starr.
Edwin Starr. He started off there. Dramatics started off there. It was so Tony Hester, who wrote some of the dramatic
Oh yeah.
songs.
Oh yeah.
We had the Fantastic Four, Rose Batiste, and everything that Motown had, Golden World had.
Right.
And the singers were just as talented and just as graceful and everything. And so that's really where I got my start. I auditioned because they had put an ad in the Michigan Chronicle that they were looking for a female vocalist for the group. And Ziggy Johnson at that time was very popular, and he was friends with my mother. And so he told her, "You need to take her over there and audition," and she did. And I sang Misty.
Oh,
And
wow.
the girls, they had already auditioned several other girls, but they said they just didn't fit what they were looking for. And the girls, I love to tell the story because these are my friends for life. They told me they had to go in their office and make a decision. The office was the girls' bathroom in the studio. And I could hear them in there, and they were hollering and screaming, "We got to get her. Yeah, we're going to get her." They went all cool and calm now. They go to Mr. Wingate. "Yeah, Mr. Wingate, we think Diane will work out real well." And I was like excited. I was so
How old
excited.
were you?
I was 15.
Wow.
And they were like 17 and 18. They had graduated from Persian High School. I was still in high school.
Okay. Now the Debonaires, they had several songs,
Yes.
and the one that I had the pleasure of finding was a song called "How's Your New Love."
Oh God, Henry, that song was the first time I ever sang lead in a recording studio.
Okay.
And the wonderful thing about it, it was that it was like a one take, because they had the
What?
orchestra there playing right there in the studio when we were recording. Because back in '65, they didn't have all the things that they have now.
No.
They didn't have no where you
Retake.
Could go. No, you if you messed up, then everybody had to start all over.
Wow.
And so we rehearsed that song, rehearsed it until it was okay. Mr. Wingate said, "Okay, it's girls, we're gonna go ahead and record." And I was so excited. I wasn't nervous or anything because I'd already been on stage. I was everywhere singing around the city of Detroit. So
Okay.
when it was time for me to go in, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And I did. I really did. And I had a ball. And it's just the most exciting thing when I first started off singing.
Right, if you don't mind, can we take a listen to?
Sure. I
Okay.
love that.
This is the Debonaires with "How's Your New Love." Treating you.
The smile you're wearing, is it real? Is this the way you really feel?
That's Diane. Hogan's.
Yes, it was Hogan.
Okay.
Hogan.
And that was the Debonaires. How's your new love treating you?
Absolutely.
Writing was really unique.
One thing I liked about Golden World was that even though we were during the time of Motown, we still had our own sound going on. And I think that's kind of why Motown kind of like kicked us out, because we were pretty much, I feel, competition to what they were doing over there. Because we had almost every kind of group. The Fantastic Four was like the Four Tops.
Right.
The Debonaires was like the Supremes, because we were classy, and I mean, we were dancing, and I mean, it was awesome.
J.J. Barnes told me a story once. He said that the reason why he didn't make it at Motown is because Marvin Gaye felt that he sounded
too much like him.
Like Marvin
and
Gaye.
that was just JJ's voice. Now, he wasn't trying to emulate. That's
Right.
just how he sang, and he was cute back then, and everybody, the girls loved him, and we were doing shows all over the city, Detroit, at the Arcadia, over in Canada, at the Centennial Building. Frank Brown was the guy that was doing all the shows, and
Yes,
so I mean, it was every group that was in Detroit that was really doing something or making some noise. Motown was like, we don't know what to do with this now.
Right.
So here we go.
You had mentioned during the break that that you were performed like at Swinging Time.
Yes, we
And
did.
I was a dancer on Swinging Time.
Yeah, that's awesome, Henry. That is so awesome.
And, Robin Seymour.
He was so
he was the
cool.
host. Yeah.
He was so
Yeah,
cool. Such a
and-
nice man.
Yeah, and it was that was back in the day. It was like, so you never did anything with Motown. I take it.
No, I never did. I actually, my stepmother was going to take me over there to audition, but at the time she was going to take me, I was only like 8 years old.
Oh.
And so, they weren't interested in an 8-year-old at
Right.
that time. But I mean, it's so ironic that a few years later, Stevie Wonder comes along and he gets signed up, because I mean, he was exceptional,
Right.
because he was a musician's musician. He could play all the instruments and he sang.
Right. Well, I heard that they really wasn't too hot on Stevie because he was young.
At the beginning,
Right.
because of course, here we go. Like my mother, she was my stepmother, but I loved her dearly because she just kind of saved my life, I feel. She was a backstage mother, and she wasn't taking no mess from nobody.
Okay.
And she wanted the very best for me, and there was nobody that was just going to take me and just do whatever.
Right.
So she just, that wasn't going to happen. Because I tell you, she used to pop call up at Golden World. She'd make her pop appearances
Yeah.
at Golden World. And I had this mad crush on Tony that was writing for the Dramatics. And Tony Hester was
Right.
his name. And one day I was upstairs with him, and he was playing the piano, and I was mesmerized. He had these long fingers and this long neck, and he was just singing. And my mother made a pop call, and the girls were running up the stairs. Diane, your mother's here. You better get your butt downstairs. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So I ran downstairs, and when I got down there, I was all huffing and puffing. And she's like,
Where you been?
you okay? What's going on? But I would have never told her that, because she would have never let me go out with him.
Right.
And he did. He took me out one time to the Fox Theater.
Okay.
And he had this raggedy car. And when we got ready to go out the door, she was grabbing her coat. And I said, oh, Mommy, you going out somewhere? She said, oh, yeah, I'm going out on your date with you
Oh,
and
wow.
Tony. And I was like, what? She
How
said,
old were you?
I was actually about 16.
Oh, no.
About
She's
16.
going with you.
She went with us
Yeah.
and sat 2 rows behind. And every so often, she would say, and she used to call me Twinkle. She said, Twinkle, Twinkle. Oh, isn't this scary? Oh, my God, this is a scary movie. And I wanted to say, shut up. And when he dropped us off, he was like, so you know I can't see you no more, right? I can't date you and your mother. I was like, oh, my God, my heart was just broken. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I was just a mere teen, and I was, just naive as can possibly be. So...
Now, when you left Golden World
Yes.
in 1968,
Yes.
you made your track over to Capitol Records.
Yes, I did. The gentleman who actually brought, it was two gentlemen that brought How's Your New Love Treating You to the studio for the Debonaires to record. One of the gentlemen's name was Robert Walker. And he came to me and told my mother and my father that he wanted to sign me up with Capitol Records. And of course, I thought he was just talking stuff, but he actually did get this record for me to do. And I went into a studio over on Livernois, and I don't remember exactly where, but I know it was on Livernois. It was called Terra Sherma. And that's where I did the recording of the song that I had released, Love Is All Around and How Does It Feel?
Okay.
How It Does It Feel was my favorite song, but for some reason, the DJs were flipping the record over and playing both sides.
Okay. All right. Can we take a listen
Sure.
to this particular song by Diane,
Hogan's at
Hogan's.
that time, 'cause it was just me. The
Right.
girls were gone doing
and
other
it's
things.
it's entitled "Love Is Around."
Is all
It's
around.
all around.
Yeah, love is all
This is
around.
Diane Hogan's.
Love is all around. Is it hard for you to find? Love is all around, building deep inside. Love, love, love. My heart is open wide, completely to you, waiting to share. Hearts are like islands, drifting Love is all around. In the world we live today, love's seen all colors the same for us all. Love, love is in the heart. So let's bring the feeling. It's not hard to do. Love, hearts are like islands, drifting away. What is our Is it hard for you to find? Love is all around, building deep inside.
Love is all around. That's Diane Hogan's That's her was it your debut on
Yes,
Capitol
with
Records?
Capitol Records.
Right. The love
Yes,
is
it
all
was.
around. Diane, we got someone on the phone for you.
Okay.
How's that?
That's
Okay.
wonderful.
Let's go to the phone. You are hot. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Valerie Bonner. How are you?
Hi, my dear sister. How are you?
I am fine. I called in because I wanted to let the listeners and the world know how prolific of an artist you
Aw,
are.
thank you,
And
Valerie.
you take inspiration from an eclectic mix of genres.
Yes.
A lot of artists cannot do that. You know, they've heard Love is All Around, which was before this call, but you have a plethora of music that comes from different genres, and you can sing them all.
Oh, you know what? That is such an honor to hear someone like yourself say that, because I totally respect the opinions of people who are in the business, around the business, and it's such a joy to be able to do what I've done. And actually, I had, at one point, I was telling Henry, I had decided I was going to give up on music because it's so hard now with the music community, because if you don't have a major record deal, you can't get record playing on the major stations. But people just keep saying, Diane, you got to keep doing this regardless of what's going on. And the two young men that have come into my life recently, they came to see a play that I wrote, and I wrote the music for the play. And they said, girl, we want to work with you. So that's an honor when younger guys come into your life and tell you that they want to work with you. And so I feel very blessed. And I'm just, okay, I decided not to give up on it because it's in my blood. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do if I couldn't sing.
I'm so glad that you didn't, because you have so much more music in your pipeline. You're playing for live shows, more plays on the horizon,
Absolutely.
and just resurrecting that whole Motown sound coming back from that era, I hope is something also in your plans. I miss that type of music
You know
so
what?
much.
I do too,
And I
Valerie.
really hope that it comes back again one day.
I do too,
But
because
I
listen
am
to the radio.
so happy to hear from you.
Thank you, sweetie.
And that
I
new song that
appreciate
you
it.
have out,
Yes.
it is fire.
Well, I tell you, you look fabulous in the video. I'm excited that you were part of the video because you added such a touch of class to it. And so did your gentleman, Mr. Monroe. I am so excited that you guys were part of the new things that I'm doing. And I'm just honored that so many people opened their doors for me to do the video and opened their doors to just say, girl, you can still sing. So don't stop singing just because such and such and such. But you know, you do get kind of frustrated, and the pandemic just stopped a whole lot of things. But
Yeah,
that was
it
when
did.
I really started writing even more during the pandemic, because there was nothing else to do. You know, and I got sick and tired of watching TV, and I said, well, why do I want to watch something when I got stuff that I could be writing and working on? So I just kept on doing what I did, and that's what I did. So thank you. I really appreciate you calling in, Val. I really do.
Oh, it was my pleasure. It was our pleasure to be a part of your video, and I'm just so excited to see what's on the horizon for you. And if you need me at any time, I'm just a phone call away.
Oh, you're so awesome. I appreciate that. And I really do want you to be a part of whatever it is that I'm doing, because when you put that video together of my career, I was so outdone. You know, you brought me to tears. And I was like, wow, that was so fantastic. And for you to have, you know, just kind of did all that research, that really made me know that you really felt that I had something to offer. And nope, I couldn't pay for that, honestly. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I love you both so much, Mr. Tyler. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
It's
going
my
to log
pleasure.
out now and listen to the rest of this show.
I really appreciate
Love you, Val. Thank you
Okay.
so much for calling in.
Okay, love you too. Have a good day.
Thank you, Val, for
sweetie.
calling.
Bye-bye.
Boy, it's good to have friends, isn't it?
It is. It truly is a blessing for people to be in your behalf and encourage you and think you still have some value. Because in this business, The business has changed so drastically because, of course, I'm not a teeny bopper anymore. I'm very seasoned.
You're not?
No, I'm not. No, Henry, I am not. But the thing is that God has been so gracious to me that I still have a voice, and I'm grateful that I was in the studio yesterday working on a new song, and I was like, wow. And the guys that I'm working with, I mean, they're so open to doing whatever it is that I want to do, and that's a blessing because at this point in my life, I just kind of push back and said, but I got a box of songs that I've written throughout the years, a box, a big box. So,
and now, as we move through the years of your career, okay, should we move up to One Nation?
oh, sure, you can. That's one of my. I feel it's a very strong song because what this country has been going through, it is a message to the whole entire world. It's not just for a certain people. It's for everybody. Because when Locke, who was working with, I was working with him at that time, and we worked together many years. He came to me with the concept, I want you to write a song about the world coming together and just we being one nation of people. And when I heard the music that he had put together, it was no, it just came. It just came. The words came, the feeling came, the sentiment came, and it's a story that I told because I feel what I feel is what should be happening. We are all the same. I had a very deep conversation with a person not too very long ago because I had a friend who had a heart transplant, and he was my friend ever since I was 15 years old, and I miss him dearly. His name is Frank Garcia. And so when he had a heart transplant, we were talking one day, and he said, we are all the same. All our blood is the same. We have the same organs. I said, well, I've always felt that. So I don't care what race you are. If I have a liver or a kidney that I can give to somebody to help them live, it doesn't matter what color I am, because we all have the same inside. So when we were created as human beings, God didn't put something special in one race of people and something over here different. No, if you open up a cadaver, everything is the same. Everything. So we are really one nation of people.
Now, Frank Garcia, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he produce a lot of TV programs?
Yes, he did on Comcast.
Right. Yeah.
And it's so funny because one day he called me on my 38th birthday. I will never forget this. And he said, I want to do a television show talking about you and your career. And I said, really? He said, yeah, I want you to come down to Comcast and we're going to do a show. And he had me perform some of the songs. I did them with, a track.
Right.
And it was amazing because he's always been in my corner ever since I was 15. He's told me, he said, I don't know, you were like the sister that I never had, or a sister that I wanted to have. And so we just had this love connection between us. And anything and everything I did, he always supported me, always. And he did this show on my 38th birthday, and it was so weird. I worked in a trophy company at that time. And he came to pick his trophy up. I had no idea that he had won for his show that he did on me.
Wow.
He was given an award, and they made a trophy for him, and he was coming to pick it up. And I said, what are you doing here? He said, you're not going to believe this. He said, the show I did for you, I got an award.
Wow.
And it was the show I did on your 38th birthday. And I was like blown away. I was like, what? And so, I mean, it was just amazing to me that him being my friend, like my brother, supporting me always, that he won an award for doing a show about me. And it was fun. We laughed. I cried. I'm a very emotional person.
I know.
So it was so awesome that he won talking about me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, what a blessing.
Yes.
What an absolute blessing.
Well, let's take a look at, now, you have to help me.
Sure.
Is it, the name of the group is?
At the time when we did One Nation, we were the One Nation.
Okay.
THEE, One Nation.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. And this is a duet
Yes.
with Locke.
Yes.
Okay. And let's take a listen to One Nation.
I believe that we could be together as one underneath the sun. If we really tried to put our differences aside, no race, no creed, no color. All mankind, one family of one. One nation of love. One nation underneath the sun. One nation living as one, living in love. One nation of peace, one nation of joy. One nation united in love.
Every man stands for one another.
Reaching out to lend a helping hand.
Never would there ever be a child who's gone hungry.
There's enough food to feed the land.
Why
Everyone learn
can't everyone
to forgive
learn
one
to
another,
forgive one another just as God commands?
Love and peace would be a daily pleasure. It's all that he demands. One nation underneath the sun. One nation living as one, living in love. One nation of peace, one nation of joy. One nation united in love. One nation. We got to come together. One nation together in love. Before it's too late. One nation. Oh, please don't let it be too late. One nation united together. There'd be no need for separation if love, joy, and peace would be our only choice. We would always be in His will, under His cover, if we only listen to His voice. No more senseless killing.
No more talk of war.
Una nación.
We've got to save our planet Earth.
Y con.
Or mankind will be no more.
Yechmela.
One nation, underneath the sun. You are my sister. One nation. You are my brother. We are all the same.
Mathis and Locke.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Guess who I got on the phone, Diane?
Who?
Locke.
Hello, my brother.
How you doing, Miss Lady?
I am excited to hear from you. How are you doing, my dear?
Well, it is a blessing to be able to hear from you.
Oh, Locke,
I want
you
to
know
say
I
to
love
you
with all my heart.
that it seems that you have a great career going on, and it seems like the Lord is just blessing you in every which way.
Well, you know what,
So it looks
Locke?
like you're moving on up, as the Jefferson said.
Well, I heard you doing the same thing with the Detroit Emeralds. I heard the song. I love it. And I always told you, come on up front and sing. And when you said you were coming up front to sing, I was so tickled. Because I always wanted you to come up because you're so personable, you're so funny, and you're so talented. And the years that we have worked together has been some of the best experiences of my career because you always supported me, always been in my corner, always encouraged me and stuck by me. And you can't buy that kind of love and friendship.
Absolutely. And likewise for a very talented sister who unbelievable taps in vocals. I mean, it's unreal, the stuff that you can do in the way that you can change your voice. So you being blessed in every which way that, the Lord has that was to come to you.
Well,
And
hey, a lot of it came because of you.
One day we're going to try to come back with Z1 Nation again.
You know what? I just said
and try
that.
to make it happen.
I would love for that to happen because we had
Well,
so much magic.
Don't get too popular that you can't come back now.
Oh man, hush! I can always come back. You know what? I never left. It's just that you went your way, and because you couldn't come back over here to Detroit because of the pandemic and all the things that was going on with that. During the pandemic, that's when I started really getting more creative because I was so devastated with what was happening. And my talent comes from, I hate to say this, but a lot of the things that I write or experience is what I write about. I write about my truth, my life, what I've been through. And when you gave me the commission to do One Nation, to me, that was something that was a blessing because I don't care how long it's been, nothing has changed, and One Nation still speaks volumes to the world and to the community.
Absolutely.
Because we are still dealing with racism, we are still dealing with racial profiling, we're dealing with murder and mayhem, and as I was explaining to Henry, we are all one and the same. I don't care what nationality you are, what side of the globe you've been on, or where you've been, or how much money you've accumulated.
All I can say is that your song was a beautiful song too. I love the song. It's taking you to newer and newer heights. I was talking with the DJ over in UK, and he's heard about your song, and I think you did an interview with a young lady. A very talented young lady, a sister.
Yes,
and, you were on with the Emotions, and she had contacted me and told me about the interview.
Oh, you talking about Esther Austin. I've just met her over the internet because of Shelly Kay. And you know who Shelly Kay is, a jazz vocalist here in Detroit, awesome vocalist. And I was on her show with the Platters, and so she contacted Shelly and told her to interview me, and Shelly and I talked over the phone. Then she decided to have me on the show, and the day that we did the show, everything was turned upside down because she didn't realize that we had different time thing with the fall back and the spring forward thing, so it just kind of messed up the time frame. But what happened was she decided, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and have all of you all together, and that was so exciting. I got to actually speak and sing with the Emotions, one of my favorite groups of all times, and they were so sweet, so loving, so kind, absolutely awesome.
Well, from what she tells me, it was a great interview.
It was.
So all I can say is just keep doing your thing, sis.
I will.
We, the Detroit Emeralds, love you.
We
pray for you.
Too. Thank
and all
you.
I can say before I go is, welcome back home.
I love you, Locke. I truly do. And you tell your wonderful,
sweet,
loving wife I said hello, okay?
And I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Locke, for calling in, man.
Not a
Appreciate
problem.
you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, see that? People
so
just love you, Diane.
awesome.
I'm jello.
Well, you know what, Henry? We have a history together.
Yes,
I
we do.
mean, God, what year was that when we met?
Do you remember
I
where we
remember-
met?
Yes, you reminded me of the name of the salon, Princess Hair Salon.
That's correct.
You were there. I was there getting my hair done for something I was getting ready to do, and I
Right.
kept looking at you saying, God, you look like somebody that I know. And it was your brother, because
Right.
we were at this Lake Tahoe the same time. He was at another hotel, and we were performing. And when everybody was not working, we would go to the other hotels
Right.
and look at the acts that was going on. And I always loved your brother and that whole thing that he was doing.
Right. Willie
Be-
Tyler
and
Lester.
you know what? And the reason why I was so in love with him was because when I was a young girl, I used to make puppets out of socks.
Oh, get out of
And
here.
I did. I made old puppets out of socks, and I do puppet shows in my backyard on Pengree. We had a back porch with a window, and I would do my puppet show through the window, and the kids in my neighborhood would come by, and my dad would make Polish sausage, and we make Jiffy Pop popcorn. Remember Jiffy
Yeah,
Pop?
I do.
And I'd have Kool-Aid, and that's what I'd do my little puppet show, and I'd sing, and all my little friends in the neighborhood would come and hang out with me. And I did something the same thing at Thurkel Elementary School, and I won first prize. I won $50 for we had a safety competition, and I had a old clown head puppet. And I wrote this little scenario how this clown was the spirit of safety, and he would always be walking the kids to school and hovering over them.
Right.
And my teacher, which was Miss Zoe Johnson, she
Okay.
said, "Young lady, you have a gift." And I won $50. That was the first time I ever been paid for something at that age. I was in the third grade at
that's
Thurkel
a-
Elementary School.
It definitely was worth it.
Yes, it was.
Especially back then.
Back
50
then, for
bucks.
sure. So I had this connection with your brother, and I used to go to the Motown Review
Oh, yeah.
every single
Yeah.
year.
Oh, yeah.
So to meet him in Lake Tahoe was so exciting to me. It was just awesome. And I'm looking at your face. Y'all got the same face. I was like, what? And he told me to look you up when I come back
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
I
And you
didn't
did.
know. I know I did, but I
it was
just
an accident, but you did.
right.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what it was.
And guess what?
Yes.
We've been friends ever since.
every
I mean, whenever you would call me,
Yep.
or if I call you,
Yep.
just to check on you and
Yep.
find out what's going on.
Absolutely.
I
And
mean,
Henry, I want to thank you because when I had a song out that it was my first song that I ever had a copyright on called Flashback.
oh,
When
we got a story about that.
remember when the lights went out in the city of Detroit? I think you guys must have had a generator or something, and you played it because I'm laying on my girlfriend's floor because I was scared to be by myself. So she said, "Come over here and stay with me."
Okay.
And I'm laying on the floor, and your radio station was the only station that was coming through, and you played Flashback, and I jumped up screaming and hollering and dancing around the room. I'll never forget that.
Now you know every time we talk, and I'll say, Diane, you know I love Flashback.
know.
You know I love, and
I know.
it just so happened you did send it to me.
I
and I got to play it.
Please play
because
it.
we're getting short on time, but
Okay.
I got to get your video, your new
understand.
video. We
I
got to talk
know.
about that.
Okay.
But I got to get Flashback in.
Please.
Because this is my song here. Okay, here's Flashback.
Flashback.
That's one of HT's favorite songs
Thank you,
by
Henry.
Diane Mathis.
Thank you
It's
so
entitled Flashback. And wow, I love that song. I do love that song. Diane, let's talk about the new project.
Okay. Well, the new project I'm really excited about because I wrote a musical and we did it at the Aretha Franklin Cafe, and two of my really good friends came to see it, and that afterwards they was like, "Girl, you can write, so why don't you start performing and writing it?" I said, "Well, it's like, I don't know, because it's so hard to get music on the radio and stuff." And they said, "Well, we want to do something with you." I thought they were kidding. 2-3 months down the line, they called me and said, "Okay, you ready? We want to hear what you got." So I had a whole box full of like cassette tapes and lyrics, and so they said, "Okay, well, let's hear what some of the stuff you got." And so I played this song, "Welcome Back Home," and the lyrics was what got to them. They was like, "Oh man, this story is the bomb." I said, "This is something that my mother used to tell me all the time. If you love something, you set it free. If it comes back, that's the love that's meant to be." Wow. So they was like blown with the lyrics. So they said, "Okay, we want to do this first." I said, "For real, you really want to do?" They said, "Yep, this is the one we want to do." And I said, "Okay." So they made studio time. They booked it and said, "Okay, we're gonna go in the studio and do it." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" They had already decided, how they were going to arrange the music, and they told me they wanted me to, just do how I wanted to do it vocally, do my own background. I had all in my head set how I wanted to do it. So we went in and recorded it. And all of a sudden it was like, wow, this is a good song. So let's do something with it. So then they started talking about, well, you need a video. And I was like, but we don't have no budget for a video. But I said, okay, but I had an idea what I want to do. My mind races 24/7.
Right.
I never rest because I'm always thinking of something that I want to do. So when they said, let's do a video, I called my friend who helped me with my production of the play that I did down at the Aretha Franklin Cafe.
Right.
And we actually did, you let me come in here and do as part of that here at the studio. We did a 30-minute movie. When I called him, his name is Lo Williams.
Okay.
And he said, "Okay, what's your concept?" I said, "Well, I know exactly how I would like to see it happen." And it happened. So here we go. Welcome back home.
Okay, I'm going to let you do the honors of introducing your current video.
Yes.
And this is by
And
Diane
this
Mathis.
is it. Welcome back home.
By Diane Mathis. All right.
Kenny. Hey, Kenny. Hey, babe, I'm coming down to cook breakfast. Where are you? Where are you?
Baby, I'm sorry you have to wake up to this letter. And please, don't take it personally or as anything negative. It's nothing you've done. I want to love you with all of me. And in order for me to do that, I must unlock myself. So I need to find out who I am and what I need outside of you. So this journey I must take alone.
They say if you love something, set
Set
it
it free.
free.
That's
If it
right.
comes
Comes
back,
back,
it's
that's
yours.
yours.
If it don't,
That's
it never
right.
was.
That's right. Amen.
Never was
Let's
meant to
toast
be.
to that.
Yes.
Yes.
All
All right.
Welcome back home. Welcome back home. Oh. Said you needed time. to clear your mind. Said you needed space to grow. Gave you freedom to explore the world. Now you're back, the door is open, welcome home. Never gave up on hoping. Find your way back home again. I left the light burning in the window and the welcome back on the floor, so come on in. Mama told me long ago, you love someone, set them free. If that love returns to you, that's the love that's meant to be. I don't care where you've been. I don't care where you've been. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've done. All I know is that you said you're coming home. So come on home, oh my darling, to my love. Mama told me long ago, you love someone, set them free. If that love returns to you, that's the love that's meant to be. It took a while for you to get your thoughts together. Doesn't matter how long it's been, 'cause I always knew someday you'd realize there's no place like home, so welcome home, come on in. Mama told me long ago, you love someone, set them free. If that love returns to you, it's the love that's meant to be. Welcome home. It's so good to have you here. Relax, take your shoes off. It's so nice to see your face again. Come on in. Welcome, 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 welcome home. True love has brought you back into my arms.